So dear students, myself CMA Padmaja Buzruk. I will continue the topic branch and departmental accounts. Study note number 10, branch and departmental accounts. Today I will continue independent branch. We'll see journal entries for independent branches. Independent branches are those branches which keep books of account independently. They prepare trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet and send it to head office for incorporating these in head office books. Journal entries in both the books will see simultaneously head office books as well as branch books. Goods sent by head office to branch account debit to goods sent to branch account. In the books of branch, goods received from head office account debit to head office account. Instead of goods received from head office, branch can call this account head as goods sent to branch account also. So in the books of branch, entry can be goods sent to branch account debit to head office. Head office prepares branch account and branch prepares head office accounts. Goods returned by branch to head office, exactly opposite entry of whatever we have just now seen. Goods sent to branch account debit to branch account in the books of head office, and head office account debit to goods received from head office account in the books of branch. Branch expenses incurred at branch office. No entry is passed in head office books, but in the books of branch, expenses account debit to cash or bank account. Branch expenses paid for by head office. Expenses of branch, head office is paying, it is going out of head office cash. So head office will credit cash or bank account, but as these expenses are branch expenses, the entry in the books of head office will be branch account debit to cash or bank account. Head office will recover this from branch, so it will debit branch account. Whereas in the books of branch, the entry will be expenses account debit to head office. As these expenses are branch expenses, branch will debit expenses account and it is liable to head office for those expenses, so it will credit head office account. Purchases made from parties other than head office by the branch. No entry in the head office books, but in the branch books, purchases account debit to bank for cash purchases and purchases account debit to creditors for credit purchases. Sales effected by branch, no entry in head office books. Cash account debit to sales for cash sales and debtors account debit to sales for credit sales in the books of branch. Collection from debtors received directly by head office. As head office is receiving cash, cash or bank account debit to branch in the books of head office, and in the books of branch, head office account debit to sundry debtors. Branch debtor has paid the amount, so in branch books, debtors balance should go down. So you are supposed to credit debtors account and debit head office account in the books of branch. And head office do not maintain branch debtors account, so head office will pass entry cash or bank account debit to branch and branch will pass entry head office account debit to sundry debtors. Payment by head office for purchase made by the branch. In the books of head office, branch account debit to bank. Same entry which we have seen for transaction number 4. Head office is paying, so it will credit bank account, but it is paying it for branch. So entry in the books of head office is branch account debit to bank. In the books of branch, the entry will be purchases account debit to head office or creditors account debit to head office if this amount is paid for creditors by head office. Purchase of asset by branch. No entry will be passed in the books of head office, whereas in the books of branch, sundry assets account debit to bank if the amount is paid. Sundry assets account debit to liability for assets if it is not paid, if the asset is purchased on credit basis. Asset account maintained at head office and asset purchased by branch. Branch has purchased the asset. Money is going out of branch. So branch, in the books of branch, you are supposed to credit bank or creditors. But asset account is maintained in head office. It is not maintained at branch. This entry is very, very important. Journal entry number 10 and 11, very important entries. Asset account maintained at head office and asset purchased by branch. In the books of head office, branch asset to branch, because this asset account is maintained by head office. But in the books of branch, the entry will be head office account debit to bank or creditors for asset. Asset is purchased but not paid for. Depreciation and asset account is maintained by head office. Asset account is maintained by head office and you are supposed to provide depreciation for the asset. Then in that case, in the books of head office, entry will be branch account debit to branch asset. It will not show it as depreciation because it is depreciation on branch asset. See, exactly opposite entry head office will pass. For at the time of purchase of branch asset, entry will be branch asset to branch, and for providing depreciation, branch to branch asset. That will be the amount of, here the amount of depreciation will come. So the branch asset will be shown at net figure in the books of head office. Whereas in the books of branch, the entry will be depreciation account debit to head office. Depreciation is loss of branch asset. So branch is supposed to debit this depreciation, but as branch is not maintaining this asset account, the entry in the books of branch is depreciation account debit to head office. Remittance of fund by head office to branch. Head office is sending cash, branch is receiving cash. In the books of head office, branch to bank. In the books of branch, bank to head office. Remittance of funds to head office by branch. Head office is receiving cash, branch is sending cash. In the books of head office, bank to branch. In the books of branch, head office to bank. Transfer of goods between different branches. In the books of head office, recipient branch account debit to supplying branch. And in the books of branch, recipient branch will assume that as if it is receiving goods or cash from head office, and supplying branch will assume that as if it is supplying goods or remitting cash to head office, and accordingly the entry will be passed in the books of branch. Charging the branch service charges by head office. Sometimes head office render certain services to branch, and for that reason head office charges branch for service charges. The entry for this is branch account debit to service charges, and in the books of branch the entry will be expenses account debit to head office. Cash in transit. In the books of head office, cash in transit to branch. In the books of branch, cash in transit to head office. Goods in transit. In the books of head office, goods in transit to branch. In the books of branch, goods in transit account debit to head office. So if you see in both the books, cash in transit and goods in transit account is debited. So either of the entry can be passed. So if cash goods are in transit, this entry either it will be passed in head office books or it will be passed in branch books. If cash is in transit, this entry cash in transit account debit to branch or cash in transit account debit to head office will be passed either in branch books or in head office books simultaneously. In both the books you are not supposed to pass the journal entry. Incorporation of branch trial balance in head office books. Branch prepares its own trial balance and the same is sent to head office for incorporation. That is adding all the items of income, expenses, assets and liabilities of branches to head office books. After receiving the trial balance from branch, head office incorporates with its own accounts the same to prepare and ascertain the net result of the concern. There are two methods for incorporating branch trial balance in head office books. First method, all revenue items are passed through branch trading and profit and loss account and profit or loss so made in profit and loss account together with assets and liabilities are passed through branch account for the purpose of preparing consolidated balance sheet in the books of head office. In the books of head office, consolidated balance sheet is prepared. For this reason, head office will prepare branch account and all revenue items, that is all expenses and income which you find in trading and profit and loss account, as well as all assets and liabilities of branch are passed through branch account. This is as per first method. Second method, which is also known as abridged method. This method is applicable only when net profit or net loss is given instead of detailed information about all revenue, expense and income. Sometimes branch gives only net profit or net loss made by the branch, but it does not give the entire information of all different revenue, incomes and expenses. In that case, second method, abridged method is used. Under this method, only net profit or net loss will be transferred to branch account. Branch assets and branch liabilities will not appear in branch account and this branch account will show a balance. The same must be equal to difference between assets and liabilities, in other words, net worth of the business. So as per abridged method, branch will send only net profit or net loss figure to head office, as well as it will give the list of branch assets and liabilities also. But branch assets and liabilities are not to be recorded in branch account. Branch account will show a balance, that means branch account will not match. It will show a balance and that balance is exactly equal to difference between assets and liabilities. As per second method, only net profit or net loss will be entered in branch account. Assets and liabilities are not entered in branch account, so branch account will not tally. It will show difference and that balance or difference is exactly equal to difference between assets and liabilities. Whereas in first method, branch account record all incomes, expenses, assets as well as liability. So in the books of head office, if you prepare branch account, it will tally as per first method. As per second method, it will not tally, but difference is exactly equal to difference between branch assets and liabilities. Now we'll see journal entries as per first method as well as second method. First method, incorporation entries. For all revenue expenses relating to trading account, branch trading account debit to branch. So whatever comes to the debit side of trading account, opening stock, purchases, return inward is sales return. It is deducted from sales but it has a debit balance. So this is also to be added here, opening stock, purchases, return inward, wages, other items appearing in the debit side of trading account. All you are supposed to add and one entry is to be passed, branch trading account debit to branch. For all revenue income relating to trading account, branch account debit to branch trading account. Whatever you get to the credit side of trading account, that is sales, Closing stock, return outward or purchase return to be deducted from purchases. It has a credit balance. But for this journal entry, branch account debit to branch trading account, return outward is to be added along with sales and closing stock and other items that appear in the credit side. So you may, after entering this, you will get either gross profit or gross loss. For gross profit of the branch trading account debit to branch profit and loss account. In case of gross loss, the entry will be reversed. For all revenue expenses related to profit and loss account, branch profit and loss account debit to branch account, items that appear in the debit side of profit and loss account. Whatever items you have to the debit side of profit and loss account, rent, rates, taxes, salaries, depreciation, etc., are to be added, and you are supposed to pass a single entry branch profit and loss account debit to branch. For all revenue income related to profit and loss account, branch account debit to branch profit and loss account, items that appear in the credit side of profit and loss account. Whatever you have to the credit side of profit and loss account, for example, except gross profit. Remember this, gross profit entry you have already passed. Discount received, commission received, etc. All these are to be added and only one single entry is passed, and that entry is branch account debit to branch profit and loss account. For net profit of the branch profit and loss account debit to general profit and loss account. In case of net loss, the entry will be reversed. For branch assets account debit to branch. For branch liabilities, branch account debit to branch liabilities. Now we'll see accounting of second method, that is abridged method. This method is applicable when only net profit or net loss is given and detailed information about all revenue expenses and income is not given. Branch sends only the amount of net profit or net loss to head office, but it does not give the detailed information about revenue expenses and income. Under this method, only net profit or net loss will be transferred to branch account. The journal entry for net profit is branch account debit to branch profit and loss account. Only net profit of the branch is transferred to branch account in the books of head office, and the journal entry will be branch account debit to branch profit and loss account. This entry is for net profit. For net loss, the entry will be reversed. Branch assets and branch liabilities will not appear in branch account. Branch account will show a balance. The same must be equal to difference between assets and liabilities. In other words, net worth of the business. So as per second method, if you prepare branch account in the books of head office, it will not match. It will show a balance, and that is exactly equal to difference between branch assets and liabilities. Now we'll see illustration number 13. Salt Lake Corporation presented the following trial balance on 31st March 13 to head office at New Delhi. Now this trial balance is sent by branch to head office. Debit side we'll see first. Delhi head office 6480. Stock 1412. Opening stock 12,000. Purchases. Goods return from head office is wrong. Actually it is goods supplied from head office or goods from head office. Salaries, debtors, rent, miscellaneous expenses, furniture, cash and bank. These are the debit figures. Now we'll go to credit side of the trial balance. Sales. Goods returned to head office. It is a printing mistake. It is not goods supplied to head office. Goods returned to head office and creditors. Additional information. The branch account on head office books as on 31st March 13 stood at 920 debit. As on 31st March 13, this is branch trial balance. In the books of branch, head office account is showing 6480 debit balance, whereas branch account in the books of head office as on 31st March 13 is showing 920 debit balance. This is not matching 6480 and 920. On 31st March 13, the head office forwarded goods to the value of 5000 to branch, which are received on 3rd July. Head office transferred goods to branch, but branch has received it on 3rd of July. Mostly it will not take so much of time to receive the goods. March end it has transferred. So this might be 3rd of April and not 3rd of July. That might be a printing mistake. But anyway, if it is July, we'll assume that it is received in April. But even if it is received in July, entry to be passed at the year end will be goods in transit account is to be debited. Goods transferred by head office which has not been received by branch. A cash remittance of 2400 by branch on 29th March was received by head office on 2nd April 13. Branch has transferred cash to head office which was received by head office on 2nd of April, that is at the year end it was not received by head office. So cash in transit account is to be debited. Closing stock was valued at rupees 5400. Show the incorporation entries in the books of head office showing separate branch trading and branch profit and loss account. Prepare branch account and branch balance sheet also in head office books. You are supposed to prepare branch trading profit and loss account and balance sheet as well as branch account in the head office books. So we'll see how it is to be done as per first method as well as second method. First method in the books of head office, branch trading account debit to branch. Item of branch trading incorporated. Now whatever you have to the debit side of trading account, everything is added together and a single entry is passed, branch trading account debit to branch. Now we'll see opening stock trading account debit, purchases trading account debit, and goods received from head office trading account debit. These three figures are debited to trading account. It is to be added together and single entry is passed, branch trading account debit to branch account. Branch account debit to branch trading account. Items of branch trading incorporated. Whatever you find on the credit side of trading account, you are supposed to add and pass a single entry. Sales will be credited to trading account. Goods returned to head office will be credited to trading account as well as closing stock will be credited to trading account. All these three to be added together. Branch account debit to branch trading account 93,400. Branch trading to branch profit and loss account. This is the total of trading credit. This is the total of trading debit. Difference is gross profit. Entry for gross profit is branch trading account debit to branch profit and loss account 93,400 minus 65,600 gross profit transferred. Branch profit and loss account to branch account. Item of branch profit and loss incorporated. Now we'll go and see what will be on the debit side of profit and loss account. Salaries, rent and miscellaneous expenses will be on the debit side of profit and loss account. Credit side, we have already considered these two. Creditors will go to balance sheet, it is liability. So nothing is there on the credit side of profit and loss account. Branch profit and loss account to branch 3000 plus 1920 plus 940. Just now we have seen three items which are to be debited to profit and loss account. No item to the credit of profit and loss account. So gross profit 27,800 minus 5,860 debit of profit and loss account will be net profit. Branch profit and loss account debit to general profit and loss account, net profit transferred 21,940. Goods in transit account debit to branch 5,000. Goods in transit adjusted. Cash in transit account debit to branch 2,400. Remittance in transit adjusted. We have seen this in question. Head office forwarded goods value of 5,000 to branch, which was received by branch on 3rd of July, and branch has remitted cash to head office, which was received by cash on 2nd of April. Both the entries have been passed in the books of head office only. Goods in transit account debit to branch and cash in transit account debit to branch. Branch asset account debit to branch, only single entry, adding all the assets. So assets are debtors 7,400, furniture 2,800, cash and bank 3,560, and closing stock. These all are assets. Add all the assets together and pass a single combined entry, branch asset account debit to branch. And for liabilities, branch to branch liabilities, branch liability incorporated only one liability, that is sundry creditors. That is how, as per first method, entries are to be passed in the books of head office. Branch trading and profit and loss account. To branch stock purchases goods from head office 65,600. By branch sales goods returned to head office, closing stock. Now gross profit. To branch profit and loss account, gross profit transferred. Gross profit is credited to profit and loss account. Profit and loss account debit to branch salaries, rent, office expenses. Net profit is transferred to general profit and loss account. To general profit and loss account, net profit transferred. This is how branch trading and profit and loss account is to be prepared. Now in the books of head office, you are supposed to prepare branch account. To branch 65,600. Branch account 31st March 13. By trading account 65,600. By branch 93,400. Branch account. To branch trading account 93,400. Just now we have seen journal entries. Goods in transit, cash in transit, and this is profit and loss account expenses. Branch account debit. Branch profit and loss account debit to branch account. So in branch account, you will find it to the credit side. By branch profit and loss account 5860, goods in transit, cash in transit, assets, and branch liabilities. Opening balance 920 is given. This balance is here. Date is wrongly printed. It is 31st March 13. Balance 31st March 13 is 920. Then on 31st March 13, we have recorded all the transactions incorporating branch income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. And as per first method, your branch account matches, branch account tallies. Branch balance sheet. All assets are recorded on the asset side. Furniture, stock, debtors, cash at bank. These are branch assets. Total is 19,160. 19,460 is wrongly printed. Creditors 3,700. Net profit of the branch. Profit has credit balance 21,940. And in the books of branch, head office account is having a debit balance 6480. In the books of branch, head office is having 6480 balance. This is debit balance. This is profit is credit. So net figure will be net balance. You will get credit balance. That is the reason why it is to be written on the liability side of the balance sheet. Head office account 15,460. 6480 debit, 21,940 credit, plus minus. So if you deduct 6480 from 21940, you will be getting this figure. Credit is more, debit is less. So credit balance, it is to be recorded on the liability side. Now as per second method or abridged method, first you are supposed to write down the balance 920, which is on 31st March 13. 1412 is wrong. Only goods in transit and remittance in transit, that is cash in transit, will get recorded. Branch assets and liabilities will not get recorded to branch account. Only net profit will be recorded, and the entry for net profit is branch account debit to branch profit and loss account. Now, as per second method, branch account will not tally, branch account will not match, it will show a balance. Here the balance is 15,460, which is exactly equal to difference between branch assets and liabilities. 19,160 minus 3,700 is 15,460. Closing of branch books of accounts. Branch closes its account at the end of financial year by passing the following entries. In this situation, accounts can be prepared by two methods. Head office will incorporate branch transaction in its books, whereas branch will close its books of accounts. Again, while closing the branch books of accounts, there are two methods. First method, all revenue items are passed through head office account journal entry for all revenue expenses that appear in the debit side of branch trading account, head office account debit to opening stock, to purchases, to goods received from head office, all revenue expenses. Branch is closing its book, head office account branch prepares in its books. So branch will close all its accounts by transferring it to head office. Opening stock has debit balance, purchase has debit balance, goods received from head office has debit balance, and all revenue expenses, they have debit balance. So if you want to close these accounts, credit these accounts and debit head office. So entry is head office account to all accounts, head of the accounts which appear on the debit side of trading account or profit and loss account. For all revenue income that appear in the credit side of branch trading account, sales debit, closing stock debit, revenue income debit to head office. All these accounts are closed by transferring it to head office account. Sales has credit balance, closing stock has credit balance, all revenue incomes, they have credit balance. In order to close this, debit these accounts and transfer it to head office account. This is how these books of accounts are to be closed. For all branch assets, head office to branch assets. Assets have debit balance. For closing this, asset account will be credited and it is closed asset account by transferring it to head office. Liabilities, they have a credit balance, it is to be closed by transferring it to head office. For all branch liabilities account debit to head office account. Second method, in this case, net profit or net loss is transferred to head office account, but treatment of branch assets and branch liabilities will remain same. As per second method, instead of transferring revenue, income and expenses, only net profit or net loss is transferred to head office, but treatment of transfer of assets and liabilities will remain same, that is same entry you will pass. For transferring assets, head office account debit to branch assets, and for liabilities, branch liabilities to head office. For net profit, profit and loss account debit to head office with the amount of net profit. For net loss, reverse entry, head office to profit and loss account with the amount of net loss. Now we'll see illustration 14. A Chennai head office has an independent branch at Ahmedabad. From the following particulars, give journal entries to close the books of Ahmedabad branch. Now, you are supposed to close the books of branch. In the books of branch, you are supposed to pass closing journal entries. Show also Chennai head office account in branch books. Trial balance of branch is given. This is debit and this is credit. Assets and liabilities is wrongly printed. Opening stock, purchases, wages, manufacturing expenses, rent, salary, debtors, general expenses, goods received from head office, cash at bank. These are debit balances. Creditors, sales, head office account, discount and purchase return. These are credit balances. Closing stock at branch 14,350. Branch fixed assets maintained at head office books are machinery 25,000, furniture 1,000. Depreciation are to be allowed at 10% on machinery and 15% on furniture. These are branch assets, machinery and furniture, but these assets are maintained at head office. Therefore, the entry for depreciation in the books of branch is depreciation account debit to head office. And depreciation is 10% of 25,000, 2,500 and 15% of 1,000 is 150. 2,500 plus 150 is the depreciation and entry is depreciation to head office. Rent due 150. Entry for outstanding rent is rent to outstanding rent. A remittance of 4,000 made by branch on 29th December was received by head office on 4th Jan. This is cash in transit 4,000 remitted by branch but not received by head office at the year end. As per first method in the books of branch, 31st December 13, depreciation account debit to head office 2650, depreciation on fixed assets maintained in head office books at the rate of 10% on machinery and 15% on furniture. Rent account debit to outstanding rent, entry for outstanding rent. Cash in transit account debit to head office, cash remitted to head office but not received within 31st December. Now transfer of all revenue expenses which are debited to trading account and profit and loss account. Head office account debit to opening stock, to purchases, to wages, to manufacturing expenses. Rent, you have to be very careful. In trial balance, rent amount was given as 1,700, but we have passed this entry rent debit to outstanding rent. Again, we have debited 150, so total rent 1850. Salaries, general expenses, goods received from head office and depreciation is just now we have passed the entry, depreciation debit. All these, we have debited this, so we'll close all these debits by transferring it to head office. All these debit will get credit and we'll transfer it to head office account. Discount account debit 150, sales debit 34,950, purchase return 300, closing stock 14,350 to head office. All accounts which has credit balance will get transferred to head office, discount, sales, purchase return and closing stock. Head office account debit to closing stock, to debtors, to bank, to cash in transit. All assets are to be transferred to head office. Head office account debit to closing stock, to debtors, to bank and cash in transit. Cash in transit, we have passed this journal entry. Cash in transit account debit to head office. So this debit, we are supposed to close this account now. Cash in transit is asset. So along with all assets, you are supposed to consider cash in transit also. Creditors outstanding rent to head office. Creditor was given in the trial balance. Outstanding rent, just now we have passed the entry rent to outstanding rent. This liability account we have created. Now this liability you are supposed to add with other liabilities and close the account of liability by transferring it to head office. Creditors debit, outstanding rent debit to head office. In the books of branch, head office account, buy balance brought down 14,000. Why? It is given in trial balance, credit side head office account 14,000. Buy balance brought down 14,000. Now if you go through all the journal entries, you will get this. First entry was depreciation to head office by depreciation, cash in transit to head office account by cash in transit. Then by sundries credit balance of revenue items. Everything has been transferred. Sundry liabilities 2850 to sundry debit balances of revenue items and to sundry assets 23,100. So these journal entries, just go through the journal entries. Head office by depreciation, this will not come to head office account by cash in transit, head office to all this, to head office account credit side by sundries. Head office account to all this, so head office account debit and this is to head office account credit. All journal entries just now we have seen, it is to be posted to head office account. Now this has to match, debit should be equal to credit. Now as per second method, depreciation to head office, rent to outstanding rent, cash in transit account debit to head office, these entries will be as usual, but instead of all revenue, expenses and income, only one net profit entry will be passed, head office account debit to profit and loss account, net loss transferred. This is the entry of net loss transferred. If you see debit and credit, see debit was 50,150 and credit was 49,750. Debit is more, so it is net loss. Net for transferring net loss entry is head office account debit to profit and loss account 400. For transfer of all assets and liabilities, entries will be same. Head office account debit to closing stock to debtors to cash at bank, cash in transit, creditors outstanding rent to head office. These two entries will be same as per first and second method. First three entries also will be same as per first and second method, but instead of two separate entries of revenue, expenses and income, only one entry of net profit or net loss will be passed. In the books of branch, head office account, buy balance brought down 14,000, by depreciation, by cash in transit, by creditors and outstanding rent, these are liabilities, net loss to profit and loss account, to closing stock, debtors, cash at bank, cash in transit. So in the books of branch, head office account also, again here it will match, it will not show difference, but it will match by different figure. So first method and second method, as per both the methods, if you prepare head office account in the books of branch, it will match, but the amount will be different. It will not be same. Thank you.